Yes, hi everyone, and good evening. It's me again, Garang Luwald. Uh, I'm here to talk to you uh, about something that is very important, um, something that I have proposed to share with all my family, my friends, and everyone around the world who is willing to listen to some positive um, um, positive conversation. Um, it is something that I have called is an initiative. Actually, it is making the world a better place initiative. So, making the world a better place initiative. Its objective is to achieve, or rather to bring a positive change and transformation to the whole world. It emphasizes making the world a better place through Christian faith and belief in God, and also through society, good moral values and belief and principle. Because not everyone in the world who is a Christian, but there are some good moral and some good values that can also achieve a positive change and make the world a better place. The initiative aims to eliminate, or rather to address the problem and the challenges that we human beings sometimes face, such as war, injustice, poverty, slavery, death, violence, etc. These are negative things, and no one's wants to live in such a world, in such a circumstances. Therefore, if we apply our Christian faith and believe in God and our good moral values and principles and belief, we believe that we can minimize the impact of these negative things in our life in order to bring peace, to bring hope, to bring love, to bring success, prosperity, and achieve a well-being in our society. How can we achieve that? What is the first thing that we can do in order to make the world a better place? In my opinion, I believe one person can make a great impact in the world through what an individual can do. A person can either make a positive impact or negative impact based on what they think, what they say, or what they do. And I believe and we all know that we wanted to achieve a positive impact in our life, in our family, in our community, and in our society. For example, In my opinion, I believe if we treat everyone fairly and equally, regardless of their race, nationality, gender, color, marital, financial, or education status, you know, that's the simplest thing that we could do, and to bring peace, to love people, and to give them hope, in life. It also means, being tolerant of people who are different than us, people who are different in terms of race, nationality, gender, and color. It also means not judging people based on their weaknesses or failures or inadequacies, but rather help them overcome those weaknesses and failures and inadequacies, because we are all have some. We have some strengths and we have failures. So instead of focusing on people's weaknesses and look down on people, we should be able to offer some support and help and assistance, all that we can, in order to help people overcome their weaknesses and build on their strength, so that we can have a better society and make the world a better place. And in addition to that, I believe if we do not discriminate or belittle or humiliate or take advantage of people, we could also help in achieving that objective of making the world a better place. Furthermore, making the world a better place, this is, I think, is maybe it is too much, but it is to be kind and to be nice to people. In my opinion, we are all different. We are different. We live in a world where everybody believes a different thing. We have different values. We have different belief, different qualities, different principles, and different political ideologies, cultural background different. But sometimes there are some common or universal behaviors that if we incorporate them into our way of life, we could achieve a common goal of making the world a better place. This include, and I call them, being kind and nice to people, including using manners, such as thank you, excuse me, and so forth. And in my opinion also, I believe making the world a better place means being law-abiding citizens as much as we can. Yes, it can be impossible and it can be difficult and challenging sometimes, but if we to be law-abiding citizens, we could actually make the world a better place. That is, in complying with the rules, regulations, and the laws that are put there to keep us safe and to protect our society. And moreover, making the world a better place means also using our gift, talents, skills, qualification to obtain employment and earn an income. Making the world a better place also means working, laboring, and engaging in trade, investment, and operating a business to earn a profit, dividends, or interest. I included these points because I believe financial security and independence contribute significantly to someone's happiness and fulfillment and success in life. If we all attain a certain financial status, we could reduce violence, we could reduce poverty, we could eliminate suffering, injustice, because and there is a proverbs that says, a hungry man is an angry man. What does that mean? Because when a person is in lack, when a person is struggling, when a person is poor, does not have enough to survive, and this including something for food, for clothing, for shelter, it will be a matter of time before the person could become violent, could become frustrated, and could lead into stress, and could lead into other issues as well. But if everyone is financially sustainable, financially secure, they'll be able to afford the basic necessities of life, and we will have peace, we will have joy, we will have hope, and we will have prosperity, and there will not be any hatred against another. There will not be any envies. For example, some people complaining why I am poor and some other people are rich, and they will be pointing fingers on such and such people. They are taking advantage of us, or they're using our resources. They might not say it, but it could be under their conscious, or their actions or their words will indicate their frustration, their anger, and their bitterness against other people who are better off, or against the system. So that's why I put those points. If a person has talents, has gift, and has the ability and skills and qualification, there is no point that they could not be able to obtain employment, to be able to earn an income where they can sustain themselves, and or labor, or engage in trade and investment, or operate a business where they can earn profit or dividend or interest. So financial security is very important in making the world a better place. How can we achieve our objective of making the world a better place as a collective or as a group? So I believe organizations, institutions, government have a greater responsibility, or a greater role in helping us make the world a better place. I am not commanding, I am not demanding government, institutions, and an organization, but this is in my opinion. I believe if organization, institution, and government think about about this point that I am going to talk about, we could actually achieve our objective or our initiative for making the world a better place, which means organization, government, and other institutions have a greater responsibility to keep us safe and protected and secure in our society. For example, government, we all understand government is a representative body of any country in the world. The people that we have given responsibility through democratic process by appointing them and electing them into the office, to to provide us with stable, secure, and prosperous political, social, and economical society. Therefore, it is, I believe, responsibility of government, organization, and other institutions to work toward maintaining peace, unity, tolerance among the communities, stakeholders, and shareholders. They can achieve this because people have tendency to listen to government, to organization, to institutions that have influence and have a power and have a greater control over resources rather than an individual. Organization, institution, government have resources to be able to achieve what one person or a family can achieve, and therefore that's why I said this institution, this organization have a great responsibility. On the other hand, making the world a better place also means putting our priorities and values and ideals right. That's mean identifying what are our priorities, what are our values, what are our ideals as individual and as organizations and as government and as nations. And I believe that's where we differ. People differ in terms of priorities. Nations differ in terms of priorities and values and ideals. And there are so many factors that contribute to this. What makes people different in terms of priorities? What makes nations, government, organization different in terms of priorities and values and ideals? There are so many factors, and we will not get into them. However, in my opinion, they are common or universal values that I believe they are similar or parallel across the world, where majority agree on these are priorities that people could actually devote a greater time, greater resources, and into treasuring them and cherishing them. Example include children, include marriage, people, If we value children, for example, and I believe everybody value and prioritize children, but as I said, not every country, every nation. When I said children, for example, yes, children are precious, they are lovely, but there are factors that determine, or they are how many children a family could have. How many children can you have, for example? It's a matter of debate. It's marriage, for example. Some countries, some people value marriage, and again, it varies. What type of marriage, what kind of relationship. Some people value families. What kind of families, whether extended family, yeah. So if we value and people, for example, so if we value children, marriage, family, and people, then we must devote some time and resources in order to care and to love people, because we value so much. An example, for example, I came from I'm an African background. I live in the West. In my family, we are 7 children. So that tells you what my father valued, So my father valued having many children, Another family, for example, in the West will have only 2 children, only 3. Why do they differ? Because there are so many factors, family in the West, they think how they're going to raise up those many children if they're going to have one. But my dad, relied, on many other things. Maybe he said, I'm just going to have children and God is going to take care of them. And he was right. God has taken care of us, and he kept us safe. He sacrificed a lot. It doesn't mean I undermined, the amount of effort and time and dedication and love that he's given us, but still, I'm just giving an example. So this is just tells you what people prioritize. People prioritize having large family or many children, and some other people prioritize having a small family and a few children, and then in order to do other things as well. And the second point is, for example, but in general, people are very important. People are very important because I studied economic, and one of the factors of production is human resource. So you have capital, land, and human resource. So if you put those 3 together, they produce something very powerful, and something that can be used as a source of income. So human resource is a vital, that's mean people, population, to be precise. So the population of a country is very important. So if a country prioritizes its people, it will have a greater advantage in terms of having higher productivity, because people could be used as economic economic development or economical growth and development, because people they can use to labor and to build nations most essential infrastructure, such as roads, bridges, railway, airport, ports, factories, school, and hospital. Yes, it's not human resource alone, but when they are combined with the other two that I mentioned, land and capital include machineries and so forth. But if a nation does not have enough capital machineries, but it has large population or many people, the many people can replace the insufficiency the country or the nation has in terms of machineries, and vice versa. If the nation doesn't have many people, but it has the capacity to develop or to manufacture machineries, the machine can replace the less population that the country has, and we have seen many examples in the world. So I believe priorities, if we put our priorities right and values and ideals, by devoting more time, more resources into cherishing those things that we value, those things that we cherish, then we could have make the world a better place in terms of development, in terms of prosperity, and achieving financial independence as a nation and as individual. Some other people value money, value prosperity, value wealth and riches. So if an individual they value riches and wealth, that's mean to become rich, because riches and wealth is not an accident. A person or individual or a nation must plan to become wealthy or to become rich, by doing the same thing, prioritizing it. That's meaning planning it and devoting more time, more effort, and more resources into accumulating wealth using gift, talents, abilities, skills, and qualification that I mentioned before. For example, individual can obtain employment, like I mentioned before. They can operate business, they can engage in trade and investment, where they can earn salary or wages, or from working or from employment, or they can earn profit from operating a business, or dividend by investing in shares, bonds, or buying stocks, or interest that in saving, in putting their saving in bank account. So all these things are means of accumulating wealth and riches. At the national level, as I said, government, organizations, institutions, they can also plan to become wealthy and become a rich nation through economical development. This can be used, like I mentioned, using economical resource, countries' resource effectively and efficiently, including natural resource, human resource, and technological resource. Yes, so if a country use their land, capital, and people efficiently, they can achieve a stable and viable and prosperous and development, economical growth. And by that, we can achieve our objective or our initiative of making the world a better place, because if each nation is rich and wealthy, there will not be any point, we will have peace among nations, we will have freedom, justice, we will have unity. Yes, so no one will be actually envy about other nations. No one will be bitter against another nation. No nation will be jealous about other nation. This is in terms of priorities. Priorities also include health. Some people prioritize health, and I believe I'm one of those people who prioritize health, because I believe being healthy, it is an important aspect of life, of productivity and fruitfulness. So if a nation or an individual value health, that will lead into making the world a better place. For example, individual and institution can play a very important role in making the world healthier, safer, and better physically, financially, mentally, and emotionally. Health and well-being are important aspects of a successful, prosperous, and productive life, because one cannot function properly without good health. If you are in a poor health, you will not be able to assign your duties or responsibilities successfully, whether at work or in school or at home. But if you are healthy and vibrant and active, you will produce 100% productivity in any place, at home, in school, and at work. So how can people take care of their health? How can people achieve good health? This can be done through eating and drinking nutritious food and drink. Yes, I understand it might not be possible for some people, but that is the reason I am talking about this initiative of making the world a better place, in order to make it a possibility for the least person, the poorest person, to have access to the basic necessity of life. Healthy food, clean water, and other drinks. And also, it's not only drinking and eating nutritious food and drink, but they must be done in proper mealtime, if possible. In addition to that, an individual must exercise for fitness and strength and vitality, you know. So that's in terms of health. Yeah, health is a very important. Yeah. Health also, being healthy includes strategies, incorporating mechanism and strategy of guarding and protecting our self, our bodies from all type of sicknesses and disease. Because if you are sick or ill, you will not be able to work, you will not be able to function properly at home or in the school or anywhere else. So this means being careful and watching out about our eating habits and our food, etc. Being healthy also include being financially stable to be able to afford a healthy lifestyle, because an individual must have sufficient finance to be able to be healthy, because it takes money to buy nutritious food and drink and to be able to exercise. But you can start where you are as much as you can until you get to that level where you'll be able to afford a healthy lifestyle. It can also be a collective responsibility, because as I said earlier, whatever we are saying here, government institutions or other organizations have a greater role and a greater responsibility, because they have the resources to be able to help individual that they are representing to be able to be healthy and make the world a better place. This includes educating the public about being healthy whenever possible, and providing necessary support to achieve that objective. It may include also having policies and procedures that aim at addressing the issue of health, health and well-being, of the people or of the society, in the top of the political, social, economical agenda, including eradicating poverty. Because, as I said earlier, one of the main objectives of this initiative, Making the World a Better Place, is to achieve, is to eliminate injustice, slavery, death, war, and suffering, violence, all the negative things that we could think of that actually rob us of joy, of peace, of hope, and of prosperity, and of freedom. And so including eradicating poverty. It include designing policies and procedures that put children health and well-being in the center of education curriculum, because children, they are the most important segment of our society, to be healthy. if because they are vulnerable of being exposed to um, to um, unhealthy food. But as adult, we are responsible, or we are in charge of providing our kids with education that will teach them how to be healthy, how to eat and drink nutritious food, and exposing them to physical exercise and activity that is relevant to their age, so that they can grow and develop to perform very well in school, at home, and later in life. This is in terms of health. Other people value time. We hear about time management is one of skills that people actually could have, because time is money. You know, we give our time to go and work for other people, so that we can get paid for the time that we spend working for other people, other companies, other organizations. So we actually trade our time for money. So that's why they say time is money. And so if people value time, this means they will devote their time, their resources, and their effort in order to ensure their time is spent wisely and efficiently. This is not a joke, and it is serious, but sometimes we don't take it that serious. We take it so lightly. And I can remember there is an African time. You know, when we used to hear about an African time, you know, that's mean turning up late to appointments, to work. It is not something that people plan, but it has become a habit, you know. So, but there is no such thing as African time. If time is time, universal, worldwide. If people agree to turn on this time, you know, if you come late for acceptable reason, that's okay, that's acceptable, but it cannot be something that all the time, or become a habit. Otherwise, you will be a stereotype like this, and it's not a good thing. So some people value time, and if a person value time, actually it can work in their advantage, and it can become productive. They can become productive, and they can do a lot of things, you know, by scheduling their time, their activity based on certain time. And that's, you know, everything can work out smoothly and perfectly well. So time management is an important skill. I'm the one that actually I'm planning to excel in time management skill, because I believe it is very beneficial for me. So time management does mean turning up on time in all meetings, appointment, and work and school. You know, it also means accomplishing tasks and responsibility on a schedule and meeting the deadline. Because, for example, if you set something that you're going to accomplish it in a week, and you accomplish it within a week exactly, that means you can congratulate yourself, because you have achieved a target and you have met the deadline. But for example, if you miss the deadline, that will be short of your expectations, and um, it could impact whatever you're working on. If it was a job, that's that is not a good sign. So by practicing, we will actually learn to be able to manage time and to take control of our time. It also means spending sufficient amount of time working to achieve personal and professional goals and objectives. I included this because, for example, some people, they just spend time working. As soon as they get home, that's it. They have done their part. But productivity does not stop at work only. I had one of my best mentors. One is Brian Tracy. He's an inspiring motivational speaker. And another is Jim Rohn. Is another powerful, inspiring motivational speaker as well. I have learned so much from those two brilliant businessmen, and especially in relation to time and so many other issues. So, and they talk about time, and I have learned so much from them. So yes, if time is one of our priorities and it's one of the things that people value, so if we manage time perfectly well by being organized and living a scheduled lifestyle, we could make the world a better place. This can be applied individually and collectively. Yeah, because like time is money and time is productivity. If people are productive, they can work more than 8 hours a day. If a person work for 8 hours and a person work for 10 hours, their productivity will not be the same. The person who work 8 hours will produce less than the person who work 8 hours or 10 hours, and the same thing, the person who work 5 hours will produce less than the person who work 8 hours. So if people value time, they will dedicate their time, more time, into producing whatever they are working on, and that's will make them successful and make them productive and prosperous, that individually and collectively. Making the world a better place also, it means prioritizing education or valuing education. That means devoting some time and money and resources and effort into educating ourselves, or even a nation spending resources or time and effort into education. So we all know that education has improved and transformed life of many people around the world. Since creation, for example, people have witnessed tremendous evolution, development, progress, and technological advancement. All this happened through education. For example, since the Stone Age, right down to industrial revolution, until modern day of technology and innovation, human beings have engaged in discovering and searching and invention. All this is through education. So, of why education is so valuable? Because it can make the world a better place, just like we've seen it now. Because if not because of education, I will not be speaking to you. All this made possible through education. You know, all the computers, um, all the electricity, the invention, that the transportation, communication, all this was made possible because people who were educated thought about how they could transform the world in a positive way. So here we go. We have something that have actually changed the world. So what is it? Education is a process of engaging in learning, studying, searching, discovering, exploring new things for the purpose of improving and transforming society. So it's also include gathering data, information from various sources and using them wisely and appropriate to make an informative decision that will bring a positive change and make the world a better place. It also means using data, information to think, create, invent, imagine, discover, innovate new things or method of doing things in life, in the house, in the office, or at work. Education also means applying knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to make important and strategic decisions in regards to family affairs, government policies, organization vision, and strategies. So education, means a lot. This is how I define it. You know, in my opinion, this is what I think about education, because I am a person who is engaged in a process of education for a long time, and so, and I believe, education has transformed life and has transformed society. And if we value and prioritize education, we could continue to make a positive change in our society and make the world a better place. So, if a society values education and learning by devoting sufficient amount of resources, time and effort to provide high quality of formal education to people in school and colleges and university, we could achieve our initiative of making the world a better place. I also think that there is a general education and informal education, which so general education and informal education is an education that people acquire or receive without adequate planning, such as self-education, homeschooling, reading books, experience, learning some transferable skill, observation, and wisdom, and certain method of doing things. So this is an informal education or general education. It does not include going to school, for example. But this is a self-education, self-study, reading books, something that you learned by yourself or observing other people doing. This is a general education and informal education, and it represents a big proportion of our life learning, because majority of people learn through experience, like they say, through experience or through observing, or through self-study, self-education. So education is an essential phenomenon that must be valued and prioritized in life if we are to make the world a better place through positive contribution to the society. However, it is important that people use education and knowledge to make a positive and constructive contribution to the society, because there is a downside to education and knowledge, because it can be destructive if education, what we know, it if we use it for evil or for the wrong purpose. That's where education, it could be negative and destructive. But if we use it for a positive change and transformation and constructive transformation, then it is a good thing. And that's where we would like to focus in. This brings us to the point that we made earlier, that the aim and the objective of this initiative is to bring a positive change and transformation to the world, to make the world a better place. So if education, it is used in a bad way and for the wrong reason to achieve a negative purpose, then we could eliminate that and focus on a positive side of education. But that also cannot happen unless our education is guided by Christian beliefs and values and good moral values and principles. So this again get me back to the point, like I said, our initiative of making the world a better place, we intended to achieve that by or through Christian belief and value and faith in God and good moral values and belief, So whatever we've spoken here about must be motivated, must be driven by our faith in God, Christian and good moral values and principles. Whether it is health, families, whether it's wealth and riches, whether it's time, all this, or whether it's an education, it must be guided by our faith in God and good moral values and principles. And other than that, we will not be able to achieve our objective of making the world a better place. So, making the world a better place also means valuing environment. Valuing environment means taking care of the place, the environment that we live in, the world, that the universe that we live in. This includes our surrounding, the land, include animals, trees, because these are living things as well, and we share the universe with these things. So if we value environment, that means we have to devote our time, effort, and resources in taking care of the environment, which means to address the issues of land, water, and air pollution, and climate change, and global warming, and sustainability. There may be some new terms to some people, but we'll just go through them one by one. So it can be individually or collectively. individually and collectively include eliminating or getting rid of objects, substance that could pose risk to people, animals, land, properties, water, air, and food, and plant, trees. It includes, for example, simple things of that we do every day: cleaning and maintenance, and recycling, include and recycling procedures in our homes, offices, factories, schools, and public places. So if we eliminate things that can be dangerous or risky to people, animals, land, property, water, air, and food and trees, that's we have taken care of our environment, and we could make a world a better place. If we follow adequate cleaning and maintenance and recycling procedures, just a simple thing, picking up trash from the ground, picking up litter from the ground and putting it in a bin, wiping off, table surfaces in our home or office, and this simple thing, we take it lighter sometimes, but they can contribute significantly into taking care of our environment that is surrounding us, and also the collective environment, the place or the universe that we live in. It includes clearing and removing the litter, rubbish, plastics from the ground, from rivers and the sea, and place in appropriate bins. We hear about plastics that is flying around. Plastic bags. We buy plastic bag from shops, and then come and bring it home. This plastic bag, we don't know where they end up. We put them in a bin sometimes. Yes, those end up in the bin. They take care of it, but there's some plastic bag that flies on the street, flies on the air, and they end up in inappropriate place, such as in rivers or in the sea, that could pose risk to sea creatures, fish and other creatures. And so we needed to take care of the plastic or rubbish and the litter that are on the ground, on the water, rivers and sea. It's not only that, but it's include educating and training people about the value of and the importance of taking care of the environment and sustainability. This means raising awareness. If somebody doesn't know how to take care of environment, yes, because a lot of people, if you tell somebody about picking up rubbish from the ground, they will say, who cares, but what they don't know is like you are teaching yourself a good habit, a positive habit. I hear a preacher, one of my mentor, and is one of my role models. His name is Pastor Chris. He says, if you see a litter on the ground or rubbish and pick it up, that means you are telling yourself, you are training yourself to become excellent. It is your spirit that is picking up that rubbish from the ground, because he talks about being condition yourself of being excellent. So to become excellent, that means to become disciplined by observing good habits and by training yourself to see something to see something that is bad and making an effort to improve it. That's is a good and is a positive habit. If you train yourself like that, then you will become excellent. That means you are taking care of yourself, of your environment, and you are teaching others as well. So not many people know about it, but it is the fact. If you become like that, then people will respect you, people will value you, people will know that you are educated and you are a clean person, and and you are an excellent person. So it means raising an awareness about importance of following simple cleaning and maintenance and recycling method to reduce pollution. I have made it a habit. I did not know even this by myself. I did not know about recycling. That means separating the rubbish, the garbage from recycling. That is paper and cardboard and all this thing. But I have made it. Even I taught my children to observe this. Now I see them; they are very excellent in it. They separate this one in our house. So if they grow up, knowing this, that means I have done a great job, and it's also, for all of us, if we do that, it will be a good thing. I know, there are some companies that are specialized in this one, but we could begin in our homes, in our offices, and in our public places by doing that, because we are contributing to a cleaner environment. We are contributing to reducing pollution and the impact of climate change and global warming. It also means educating people about the impact of climate change and global warming and the need to transition to renewable source of energy. So this is a very sensitive topic when people talk about this, about climate change, global warming, and renewable, because not everyone is in the same page, but it is a real, and it is happening. So it's a matter of finding out, discovering what are these really issues and where do I stand, whether they are they make sense or not. If you don't have somebody to talk to about this thing, you could buy a book, you could go into the internet and learn by yourself about these things, and then find out where you really stand, because yes, there's a lot of things people disagree on. I said before, in terms of priorities, a lot of people differ. Our priorities are different. Somebody's priorities might not be environment, it may be education, it may be health, it may be, and also priority. Remember something called priority. That means they are come in sequences. There is number one, number two, number three. So where does environment sit? It could sit on the top, it could sit at the bottom of the ladder. So if it's sit at the bottom of the ladder, you have other things that actually you are devoting your time, your energy, and your resources to first, and then whatever that's left you could find. But once you've attained also, then you'll be able to think about the environment, you know. So it is all depend, and there are so many factors that contribute to that. So talking about environment as well, there is something called sustainability. So making the world a better place include taking care of the environment. If we take care of the environment, we can make a positive change to our world. We could make a world a better place. And also, we could make a world sustainable. That means the world can become a better place for the generation to come. Sustainability means using the resources that we have in efficient and effectively. That means not wasting the resources that we have, you know. For example, water. We could use water in a very wise way without wasting. Electricity. We could use electricity wisely. For example, turning off the light, you know, when not in use, you know. When we go to sleep, you know, all these things, they sometimes they mean sustainable. That means we are conserving something, you know, a proportion of something for the future. So that's what is basically sustainability mean. So we have to use society resources in a way that does not negatively impact the economy or the society or the environment. Money also can be used sustainably. You know, that means if you have the money, you don't have to spend it all, but you have to save a portion of it because of tomorrow, because of the future, you know. Same thing, society. It taking care of the society means also helping other people, you know, because if we help other people, that means we are making the society sustainable. You know, all of us, we could be sustained. So sustainability also utilizing society resources in meeting the current generation needs without compromising the future generation to meet their needs. That's what I just talk about. That means we have to think about the future. So if we use our resources inefficiently and effectively, we become sustainable. And being sustainable does mean making the world a better place even after we are gone. You know, understand? We could make the world a better place for next 100 years, next 200 years, next century, or next and so forth. And I think that's basically our topic, you know, making the world a better place. Now we have come into the conclusion. To conclude, we've said making the world a better place is to make a positive change and transformation to the society through Christian faith in God and through good moral values and belief and principle, because not everybody is a Christian, but we believe there's some good people who have good morals and values and belief and principle that actually can make a positive transformation and a positive change to the world and make the world a better place. If we do this, we could eliminate poverty, injustice, slavery, and war and death, and bring hope, love, and peace, and happiness and prosperity to the world. Um, it also means making the world a better place is to treat people with fairness, with equality and tolerance, regardless of their gender, race, color, nationality, financial status, or marital status. Yeah, we don't have to discriminate people um, because they are different than us, but we should treat everyone fairly and equally. Making the world a better place also means being law-abiding citizen by complying with the rules and regulations that are made to protect and keep us safe. I'm saying this because I'm a refugee and a migrant in a Western world, and I have seen what it means to follow the rules, you know, and regulations. Basically, just to be humble, you know, just to to be simple, you know, not to be smart, and yeah, and doing that, I think is a good strategy of surviving and um, living a good life as much as possible. Making the world a better place also means being financially stable by using our skill, gift, talent, experience, and qualification to obtain employment, to invest, or operate business to earn an income. Making the world a better place means identifying and recognize our values, our priorities, and devoting sufficient resources, time, and effort to cherish and treasuring them. You know, these values and priorities include families, children, marriage, wealth, health, education, time, environment, and sustainability. You know, if we do this, I believe we can make a positive change to the world and make the world a better place. And that's the end of our discussion. And I thank you very much. I hope I have um, uh, um, I have inspired you and motivate you to think about those things that we shared. And yeah, I hope actually that you will have time to ponder and think through them and put them to practice if possible. Thank you very much.